So I will go into the fundamental problem of search advertising. So this is the algorithms that are used to determine which companies' advertisements are displayed on a Google search and what order they are placed in. Because not all of them can really be displayed on there because so many are bid on and there's a limited number of space. So the algorithm used to determine how this is solved is a solution to the awards problem, which is just how to display it. And the ideal offline competitive ratio for this problem is a perfect matching of 1. So if there are 4 different companies that made a bid on, say, a single search term or multiple search terms, all 4 of them will have all of the budget that they paid for exhausted. This is really broken up. What is used to determine the solution to this algorithm is determined by 3 separate things. The first one is that there is a limited number of space that any number of advertisements can be displayed on any given search. Otherwise, the entire search field would just be advertisements and no one would really enjoy that. The second restriction is that every company has to have a budget of how much they are willing to pay for an advertisement. Like they said earlier, whenever an advertisement is clicked on a search engine, they pay the amount that they bid on. Now, if they did not specify a budget, they would keep on paying forever, and no company really wants to pay infinite money. So that is the secondary restriction. The third restriction that is used to determine the solution is the total amount that is expected to be made from the advertisement based on past click data. Now, while this does sound very important, in most practical circumstances, it can be ignored for implementations of the algorithm because when you add it into the other algorithms that are used, the results change to a negligible degree, so you can really ignore that one. So how companies determine this, or the algorithms used to determine this, there are really 2. I will go over an example of the greedy solution, which has a competitive ratio of 1/2, and then the balanced solution, or the balanced algorithm, which has a competitive ratio of 3/4. So if you assume that you have 2 bidders, company A and company B, and each of them has a fixed budget of, say, each of them has a budget of 2. There are only 2 search terms, term X and term Y. So the only things that you can search for in your search engine are X or Y, and they each of them bid or did not bid on each of those results. So if company A bids 1 on X and 1 on Y, but company B only bids on X, the greedy algorithm, and you calculate the comparative ratios by calculating the worst possible outcome. So the greedy algorithm would select, say, X to go, company A for the advertisement slot for the X search. And then it would, since it has 2 options, and the greedy algorithm only goes on how much was bid, and since they both bid the same, it will select company A again for the second issue of X, if this is the pattern of searches. And then once you get to Y, there is no company that is bid on Y left, because all of X's company A's budget is used up. And that's why the competitive ratio is only 1/2 on the greedy algorithm. Now they fix that on the balance algorithm by taking in the company's remaining budget into account. When you take the remaining budget into account, you will flip to the company that has the greatest budget left. You don't just order it by the amount bid or randomly select one like the previous one does. So in the same situation done up here, the competitive ratio is 3/4 because while the first iteration of X still goes to company A, the second iteration of X, it's checked through the balanced algorithm. It shows that the budget for company A is now much less than the budget for company B. So therefore it tries to award it to company B, and since company B also bid on X, the second X is awarded to company B, and now the first Y can be awarded to company A, which finishes off A's budget. And you only have a singular Y search that doesn't have any clients. Now, the competitive ratio for the balanced algorithm in this simplified example isn't quite the same as what it is in a normal situation, because in a normal situation there are several factors that decrease the competitive ratio slightly. Like say if there's more than two bidders, it can decrease the ratio a bit. Also, when there's different amounts bid, it can change. Now, to account for those different amounts, you have the generalized form of it, which takes into account the remaining percentage of budgets rather than the remaining overall budget, and also takes into account the amount bid, so you don't end up continuously assigning to a company that only bid $1 when there's another company that bid $10 for the same advertisement space, just because the budget would be screwed up. So, I have two questions for you. The first one of which is, what are the different requirements that are used to determine the awards problem solution, and which one can be ignored?
The limited number, the budget, and the total amount expected, and the one that can be ignored is the budget.
No. The number that can be ignored is the total amount expected to be made from the price. If you ignore the budget, you get the greedy algorithm. And then, which algorithm is better to be used, the greedy algorithm or the balanced algorithm?
Say that one more time.
Which algorithm is it more effective to use when determining this, the greedy algorithm or the balanced algorithm?